And again, it's just would ask that the Business Committee might reconvene to consider, given since last week and given the need for accountability on the National Children's Hospitals, there have been a whole series of memos have been sent to the opposition. We have 23 memos now that we've got since these questions were asked from the Children's Hospital Programme Project Steering Group. We have memos now from September, October, November, and more from government side. We have the Department of Health report, deeper communications, October, November 2018, summary of timeline investigation of costs, and the ACOM cost benchmarking report. So we've received a lot of substantive documentation since the questions last week, and we believe there should be an opportunity in the House for spokespeople to question the Minister for Health in relation to the content of these particular memos. I'm open to that being considered. That phase will consider today or Wednesday or indeed Thursday, whatever would facilitate, given the importance of accountability and, as the Taoiseach said, lessons need to be learned from this debacle.
Deputy Pearse Doherty.
There is no doubt need for more scrutiny in relation to the understanding of the Minister and indeed other ministers in relation to the knowledge here, and time should be available for more detailed questions. I must say, Ken Corley, my understanding of Standing Order 46 is it needs to be a personal statement that wouldn't rise to debate or wouldn't be argumentative. It is very clear that what the Minister has put on the record is disputed because he did not have all the information he had at that time was not commercially sensitive. We know from the minutes, we're not Egypt here, we've seen the minutes, we've had to ask for those minutes, we've seen that at that point in August he was aware that there was a crystallisation of 191 million overspent, and yet we have the Minister coming in here making a very feeble apology to the Dáil, still trying to suggest that he couldn't give the information because it was somehow commercially sensitive, and a way to dry a line under this here and probably in some cobbled up arrangement with Fianna Fáil to get them over this issue. But this goes to the heart of accountability, so I would have rather have statements after the Minister's contribution here, as we've had, for example, in relation to Dennis Naughton's statement, but that hasn't been facilitated. But we need an urgent space to quiz the Minister in relation to his full knowledge, and in particularly some of the content that he put on the floor of the Dáil here, which is disputed and which is not allowed under the standing order that he asked to make his personal statement under.
Well, I'll be the interpreter of standing orders, Deputy. But yes, Deputy Coppinger.
Yeah, Count Corl, I think it's very obvious that the Minister made a political statement. It wasn't just a personal apology. And I think that the whole entire House has to be given an opportunity to question him in some detail about these costs. The whole nation is aghast that there's no money for nurses, but suddenly the purse strings can be opened endlessly on this project. So I think that there should be time given where we can actually interrogate him a bit more on what he said.
Okay, we'll please your case.
I'm sure the Business Committee can discuss this matter, but Minister Harris has no problem answering questions. Minister Harris likes to answer questions. But there's already. Can we let the Taoiseach speak, please? But I might point out, Cancor, that there have already been 4 committee hearings on this matter. The National Paediatric Hospital Development Board has been before the Joint Committee on Health. The Minister and the SecGen before the Joint Committee on Health. The NPHDB, the Department of Health and the HSE has been before the Public Accounts Committee. The Minister for Health and the SecGen of his department have been before the Joint Oireachtas Committee for their quarterly session. The Minister has spent 9 hours answering questions on this matter. So perhaps I might suggest that if there are going to be a further set of questions, that people actually read the questions and answers that have already happened and only ask new questions.